Hello, welcome back to Gen Z Leftists, and this is me, DDT. I'm the one doing the intro today.
Hello everyone, my name is Max. I'm a co-host, and today we're going to be talking about the recent conflict in Israel.
The recent
Uh,
escalation in the conflict, in the Israel-Palestine conflict.
mhm,
The Al-Aqsa raid, the constant airstrikes, the rockets being fired from Hamas, the IDF airstrikes. If
mhm,
yeah, it's not good. It's certainly not
yeah,
good. Scores of people have been
yeah,
killed, wounded already. Numerous arrests, closing of the
mhm,
closing of the Damascus Gate. A lot has been happening.
yeah, and not just but this is also happening in the holiest days of Ramadan for for Muslims
The
as
closing
well.
days of
So
Ramadan, yes.
yeah, um. And so, even more, it's very, I don't know what word to use, but it's very sad to see. And I say this, as someone who is Catholic myself and religious. What is happening is absolutely abysmal. It's sad because the Christian right supports Israel like bombing Palestinians,
And
and
for a psycho reason, if you didn't know.
yeah, there's a few reasons, yeah. There's reasons why Christians have such a obsession with Israel.
Evangelicals, at least.
Yeah, evangelical, yes, I should, yeah. Evangelical have they're horny for Jerusalem. As the one way I could put it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm a progressive, Christian and a Catholic. Um, and this is absolutely disturbing. See, I don't support the Israeli government. It's
yeah.
corrupt.
You should no one should. But yet, there's millions of supporters every day. You got
Mhm.
you got the settlers. You got the sponsors of the Israeli government, which is, like I said before, the crazy right, and
Mhm.
even
Yeah, I was.
Democratic nominees. Joe Biden
Yep.
supports Israel in this whole situation.
I think
Yeah,
Chuck Schumer does. Chuck Schumer does too. With the what's it? AIPAC? And that's
IPAC.
IPAC, yeah. And so, um, and not only that too, but the U.S. government sent like $3 billion unconditionally to Israel. $3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I
$3 billion
believe
a
that's a
year.
number. Yeah. And so we also, America, have blood on our hands. The American government, I should say. Like literally people's tax taxpayer dollars are going to this. And it's
Yeah,
upsetting.
I did a little bit of googling in this Business Insider thread I found, and I quote: President Joe Biden on Wednesday said Israel had the right to defend itself after
And
speaking
I
with
saw
Israeli
that.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the conflict between Israel and Hamas. And and this is another issue. Our news media is biased. Like,
Yeah. Dissenters.
you can't go
Both of
around.
them.
You can't even look for a article that doesn't start off like Hamas targets like IDF and like airstrikes. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, Israel actually started this whole situation
Mm-hmm.
because these whole protests started because Supreme Court called for expulsion of Palestinian families on May 6th. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the
And
protesting started between, and
mm-hmm.
Palestinians started protesting be kicked out of your
Mm-hmm.
house because a bunch of fuckers just walk into your house and say, "This is mine." It's like, yeah, I would protest that too. You know, and
Yeah. And well, yeah, stuff really kicked off after the Al-Aqsa
yep.
pretty much raid like into the mosque, um, just shooting tear gas, rubber bullets, like for no reason. Like
What's the
there's like,
statistic?
huh?
Over 50 were wounded in the raid.
I think it was more. So maybe it was 50. Maybe it was more, but it was like a bunch of people that were hurt. While they're praying in one of the most holiest days of Ramadan for Muslims.
Al Jazeera,
And
road
so
reacts after Israeli forces wound hundreds in Al Aqsa raid.
hundreds. Yeah. It's like something that like an example, how would you but like imagine if this happened to like Christians
Yeah,
on Easter. Like because like Christians, some Christians will support the raid and the whole mosque. Um uh the
Israel
whole
has the
mosque
right to defend
stuff.
itself.
And but like Christians, like they won't condemn Israel. Some Christians won't
They won't.
because it's like yeah they won't. And so
The evangelicals won't
but,
criticize Israel because, as far as their crazy mythos skills, Israel
mm,
plays a key part. You know, if
yeah.
I don't remember how the story goes. I know it's said a lot by other leftists, like people like the Tabernacle and others we mentioned a lot here. Hassan being the main one. So like
Mm-hmm.
all the Israelite, they want all the like the Israelites to occupy, you know, this holy area of the world, Jerusalem and whatnot, so the rapture can fucking start, you know, and
Yeah, that was the main event I seen. People referencing is the Rapture.
yeah,
I know son talked about it.
and they believe that's how the rapture's gonna start, and it's fucking wild.
Could
So
we actually
that's
go? Could you go over the Rapture for everyone that doesn't know what it is?
oh fuck, I don't have the
If
greatest
oh
understanding of
yeah,
it
oh yeah,
myself.
that's fine. But yeah, the Rapture. From what I know, it is really I don't know. I don't even know how to describe the Rapture. I
It'd
know I've
be
heard
like
like it's one like about it.
it'd be before like civil
Is it before the coming of Christ, or is it
it'd
like?
be before. I don't know when it happened or the lore behind how it happens, but I know that it happens before like Earth goes to shit. So what you'd see is a lot of like I guess God
Oh
fearing
yeah,
Christians would start floating up into the sky because that's them
oh
going
yeah,
to
yeah,
heaven before the world
yeah,
goes to shit.
yeah.
And those who don't are
I was like, yeah,
just give them to die.
yeah. But
So it's
yeah. And like one thing too, I do wanna talk about, cause I just see some people try to pull this argument of like, oh, but Hamas, they're shooting back, they're a threat.
rocks,
Yeah, yeah. And
rocks
like
and
the oh yeah,
rockets.
I know people try to say like Hamas shot rockets, which they did, but here's the thing:
Of course,
the defense system that Israel has is like one of the best in the world, and I'm pretty sure it stopped like 38 of the rockets, and two of them fell short
hmm
of doing any damage, while
yeah, most.
Israel's airstrikes killed a bunch
Yeah,
of
because
a
they have
bunch
an
of
actual
people.
air force. You know, they have
Yeah,
an actual
and
air
they
force.
also yeah, and they also killed like 15 children, I think, around that number. And so, I feel like when people are trying to condemn Hamas. At the same time, you have to realize that Hamas is not a threat at all compared to Israel. Um,
Hamas is a product of Israel's aggression. You know,
yeah,
it said Palestine before. Like people, I saw Vosh make these kind of statements before, but if you're pushed into a corner with no one else, with nothing else to do, this occupying country with the support of the whole world on their shoulders, of giving them guarantees, giving them billions of dollars a year, was coming and taking your land,
Mhm.
and here comes this party saying, "Well, okay, we'll fight back. We'll liberate our country from these traitors and these." They call them infidels because
Mhm.
you know. So yeah, of course it makes sense you would vote for them. Yeah, I don't feel. And yeah, Hamas isn't good. I mean, of course not. They're shooting rockets, but you know it's like they're a wounded animal in the corner. What
Mhm.
do we expect them to
I
do?
believe,
Sit there
but
and
yeah.
take it?
Uh-huh.
Sit
Yeah.
there and let their homes and let their watch as Palestinian families get kicked out of their own homes for no
Mhm.
reason other than they want to fucking take back the Holy Land? It's
Mhm. Actually, I know that too, but I saw an interview that AOC did like a year or two ago with a radio station in New York, and she said she was using the U.S. as a example. Is that when you what was it? Oh yeah, she said yeah, AOC had said that when people don't have clean drinking water, you are literally giving them a reason to riot it.
yeah,
Like so, in this case, but I'm not comparing like BLM to the whole thing. I'm just using the BLM stuff as an example. I'm not comparing the two right now, but I'm just saying there are similarities in which one group that is heavily being tortured and persecuted,
yeah,
they're doing this because the oppressors are literally giving them the literally giving them the reasons to do that. So
yeah. And there's
while
nothing else
people,
that you know
yeah,
they can do. There's literally nothing else they can really do.
yeah. So while
Netanyahu's
people,
government,
yeah,
time and time again, has ignored peaceful protests in Gaza and West Bank,
mm-hmm,
and you know, I won't sit here and defend what Hamas does because at the end of the day, they are a terrorist organization, you know. But it's
yeah,
like I
mm-hmm,
I sympathize because it's like that's all they can really do at this point because, like I said before, I have trouble like rewording things to sound unique. But they're a
mm-hmm,
wounded animal in the corner with nothing, nowhere else to turn, nothing else to do.
yeah. So yeah. So while people can condemn what Hamas did or what you know or what writers do in the US and
Yeah,
all around the world. At the same time, you have to understand why they're doing it.
yeah,
Because if all you do is criticize what they're doing, you will never get to the bottom of why they're doing it. It will always be an issue if you don't look at the why and you keep looking at the what. You know,
yeah.
you have to reach a level of understanding to fix issues. You know, you
And
have to, yeah,
as the government currently stands, Israel is not going to listen. So what else
yeah,
would you do? What else can they do? You know?
hmm yeah. And and because yeah, it's just, and that's why actually, there are, especially amongst young Jewish people, they actually support, there's pretty progressive young Jewish people, Jewish Americans
Hmm.
support BLM amongst amongst uh a bunch of progressive policies. And a part of that is because they've seen their families in the past be, killed off and persecuted, and they wouldn't want that to happen to anyone else.
Hmm.
Which is why Jewish people have long stood with BLM. I believe there's actually a while ago there's a BLM protest in Israel because there are Jewish people standing up to them or standing up for Black Lives Matter and
Yeah.
being advocates for progressive policies like Medicare for all, amongst a lot of other stuff. And so,
It goes without
um,
saying.
yeah,
Being critical
like,
of the Zionist government doesn't make you anti-Semitic.
yep, I was literally just about to that too. Like, it doesn't make you anti-Semitic to um, criticize the Israeli government. It's not Semitic whatsoever.
Don't don't let don't hate on all the Jewish people, of
Yeah,
course.
obviously.
But
Because that's actually, like, if you, yeah, do not say hate all Jewish people. That's anti-Semitic. That's actually anti-Semitic.
yeah,
But from criticizing the Israeli government is not anti-Semitic. And so, because that's a very popular conservative argument
yeah.
whenever, like, you know,
Anyone who criticizes is just anti-Semitic. It's like no, no, of
yeah.
course not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the same way that, like, the US looks at people like AOC or Ilhan Omar as like anti-American, which is like straight up BS. They're
Mhm.
not. If anything, they're the most like pro-American people that actually want the better for America
Yeah.
compared to someone like Trump or Biden.
Start at the bottom. Now
But yeah.
they're in charge. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, because Trump literally ran his campaign on trashing America, but he wasn't seen as anti-American. He wasn't.
He was a
So
white.
like,
He was an old white man
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
versus Ilhan Omar, which is a Muslim, a Somalian migrant. She's Somalian, right?
yeah, yeah. She's Somalian.
Yeah.
Yes,
And AOC, who's a Latino,
New York, Latina.
Latino
Yeah,
New Order.
yeah,
Oh, Latino. I'm sorry.
and yeah. But and you know, we've long heard people like Trump, say, "Go back home, go back to where you come from." But it's like the stupidest thing to say. Like, like, to see that Ilhan Omar owes anything to the U.S. is like the stupidest argument to say. Like, uh,
Mhm.
the go back home thing triggers me so much.
Yeah. She's a migrant. Why would she want to
Especially,
go back home? She's a.
yeah. But anyway, back to the whole Israel Palestine
Mhm.
conflict. I know we got a bit sidetracked, but like, yeah, like this whole situation, it is a messy situation. There's an obvious bad guy, which is Israel, the Israel government, um, housing people like the victims
Yeah.
in this, and we have to advocate to free Palestine.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm still very new to this whole topic, so I'll be straight and open and honest. But I don't know what the solution is to this. I know that there's been talks about a one-state solution or a two-state solution. I don't know which one I would prefer.
I would
I'll
say
probably
I'm
do
I'm
some
a
more
staunch
research.
two-state
Mm-hmm.
solution supporter. As I
Yes, yeah,
see
I'm
the
actually,
current
yeah.
government, I don't trust the Israeli government with be trying to be a fucking multicultural state. And I know it's not very progressive for me to say. Let's keep them
Mm-hmm.
separate, but I don't. Looking at what's happening right now, I don't trust Netanyahu's government to uphold Palestinian citizenship rights, civilians'
Mm-hmm.
rights. I don't think they will. You know.
Yeah. Like like unless they split up the government into like where Palestinians have equal representation. I don't know.
That's not gonna
Once
happen.
again, I don't know. Yeah.
There's more Israelis than Palestinians at this point.
Mhm.
So two-state solution I think is the best. It makes the most
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah. I have to do my research on my end to see where I stand. So as far as me, I have no idea. Uh, but the solution is definitely not what's happening right now.
No, it's
Uh,
definitely not the solution.
this is
Kicking
making
Palestinians out of
it
the
worse.
streets and shooting them and raiding mosques is not the solution.
Yeah. And so, yeah, thoughts and prayers. I
Hmm.
mean, more than that, but
My
I
whole
personally
day has been
can't
really
do much.
fucking mellow today because of this stuff. By the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
it hurts my heart because I know the American. I can't stop the American government. You know, and
Yeah.
we can protest all we want, but they're probably not going to listen because a lot of these politicians are, you know, staunchly in support of Israel. And I'm
Hmm.
not talking about like I'm talking about like the. I'm not generalizing. I'm not trying to at least, but the
Most Democrats.
the
Yeah.
older conservative and
Hmm.
bulldog Democrats. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, the only ones that actually be out against Israel are like progressives, like AOC, Ilhan,
Hmm.
Rashida, Bernie Sanders, Ayana, amongst amongst many other progressive, you know. But you're not gonna find, I highly doubt you would find um some type of like free Palestine centrist. Like you're not gonna
No, you're
find
not
that.
going to.
Yeah.
It sucks because literally there's like no one in the world that likes Palestine. There's no one in the world that supports Palestine except for
Hmm.
people like you or I, or maybe our or maybe our viewers, probably our
Hmm.
viewers.
Yeah.
I mean they have Iran support, but it's fucking Iran.
Yeah.
And then again,
So,
Iran's not even really in support of Israel, Palestine. They're more in support of destroying the Israeli state than
mm,
upholding Palestinian
mm,
citizenship and their
mhm.
own state.
Also, I do want to point out the reason why we even have this much of a mess is because of the one and only the UK. Literally, we have this mess because of them.
The Balfour
Um,
Declaration. I know you don't
what
know
is
what
it?
I know you don't know what that is, Max.
Well, isn't it? What was it about? I swear I just saw it in a YouTube video like an
It
hour
was
ago.
First World War. It was a First World War declaration by an Israeli United Kingdom MP that basically promised Jewish people homeland and you know
Yeah,
the
I remember
back
that.
then it was the British Mandate of Palestine. I'm thinking it was.
Yeah, yeah, and because before all this, it was usually the Ottoman Empire. But, because communism bad, according to the UK, amongst other colonial countries, the Ottoman Empire fell and British took control.
They
And
promised
then,
the
yeah.
Arabian people independence, but what they did is they ended up just carving up Britain and France and carving up their own spheres of influence.
Mm-hmm,
That's why Syria and Lebanon were owned by France up until the onset of the Cold War. Um, Britain had control of Egypt, the Suez Canal, the British Mandate in Palestine. All this, yeah, this they just forced these different people, to live together, and
mm-hmm,
as the UN mandate gave independence in 1948, war broke out between forced the
mm-hmm,
two people were forced together, the Jewish people and the Palestinians, you know.
mm-hmm. And so, yeah, pretty much the British are like, the British is like, an example is like that kid that starts a fight between two other people and then slowly backs away as if like, because I mean, they are the reason why we have all this because of that. And so,
Mm,
um, yeah, and yeah. which at times, um, I haven't been on Twitter too much, just because Twitter can be a bit too depressing. I'll be honest. I've been off of it for a little bit. I feel
Mm.
better, but at the same time, I do feel like I am missing out on some new stuff that I used to have, and so I've been trying to get on it more often, but to a degree. But, prayers and thoughts for all the Palestinians going through all this. We
Yeah.
support you. Uh, hopefully, this. I mean, I don't know if this will ever get resolved. I highly doubt it. I mean, I don't like to yell doomer-ish, but like,
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know
think
when this will end.
unless we get the older candidates to leave office here in America, I don't think we're ever gonna see an Israel that's gonna be checked and stopped. Unless we keep protesting for Palestinian freedom and the Palestinian people keep holding out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, for a word of encouragement, Palestinian people are really, really strong people,
Mm-hmm.
managing to hold on against Ottoman control for over 500 years, and even being under British control for 30 years, and then now
Mm-hmm.
being oppressed by Netanyahu's government.
Mm-hmm.
I I wish I could I wish I could say more, and I wish I can go there and help them, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
just some 20-year-old behind the screen, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would try to. I'll try to find some resources to find so that people can support. There's a great organization. I believe it's not profit. It's called If Not
mhm,
Now.org. I'll put a description. I'll put the link to the organization in the description box below. It's a progressive left left leftist movement. Um, it's a collective of Jewish people, young people also, who are fighting against the Israeli occupation, government occupation, and stands for the Palestine as well. And so that's a great group to look to for resources and stuff like that.
mhm,
Um, I'll try to see if I can find this code. The link up here. I'll check it out, see if it's good, and I'll put it in the description bar for you guys at home or wherever you are to, I know it's like the COVID pandemic stuff, but like, just to help something, help a cause out, um, you know, tough times.
mhm.
And, yeah, I think that will be it for this video. Honestly, we
Yeah,
could talk about this for hours because it is a heavy topic to
it's a very
talk about.
heavy topic. It's
Mm.
multifaceted, and you can go back
Yeah,
and
because like, you can even bring in religion, but that's like a whole different subject. Like that will
and
take
I'm probably not the most
hours.
fit to talk about religion because I don't
Yeah,
have a faith, so
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a very tough subject to talk about, but it needs to
mhm.
be talked about
Yeah,
because this isn't right. This isn't right. What's going on? It's not humane, you know. And so, prayers and thought to Palestinians.
mhm.
Also, I think this might be, I think this video might be uploaded the day after Ramadan ends. So happy Eid Mubarak. I think I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, I'm sorry. My Arabic is not that good. But
If I actually get around to uploading it, like last video,
no,
took
it's
me
okay.
3 to 4 days
It's
to
okay.
upload it. Ugh.
It's fine. It's okay. We all make mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please, you guys can share this video. And if you want, check out other people too that are probably
Yeah.
more well researched on this, like Hassan. I think would be a great resource. He's talked about this. His little video, it's an hour video on his channel talking about this, and so hopefully you guys watch that too. Um, but yeah, uh, thank you for watching this video. I know it's a heavy topic compared to
That's a fun
the
one.
last two. Yeah, a fun one to talk about because it's a very important like important topic to talk about.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, hopefully you guys have a nice day. Uh, you know, prayers and thoughts to people discussing this, experiencing this. Uh, and hashtag Free Palestine.
Hashtag Free Palestine. See you later, every folks. Every folks.
See you later.
Good day.